let's try to get this chainsaw running. Probably not my best decision to try to get this running. This chainsaw is seized. It won't pull over. The spark plug's loose. The chain is seized. But we're gonna try to get it running. Let's get to it. This here is a vintage Homelite XL-12, and believe it or not, it did run at one point in its life. And today, we're gonna see if we can get it running again. Unfortunately for me, it's seized, the chain is seized on there, the pull cord won't pull over, the spark plug's loose, the carburetor's crusty, the chainsaw's crusty, so it's not my best choice to try to get this running, but we're gonna try to get it running. I picked up 28 chainsaws, unfortunately, so I have about $8 into this saw. Let's get this thing lubed up and start taking it apart. We got our rusty spark plug. Also pop off the exhaust here. Take a look at the piston. If it's too knackered, this project might be over before it started. Holy crusty. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That is a crusty piston down in there. We got a little situation going on with this piston. It is extremely scored up. Oh, I don't know if I should be doing this. I don't know if it's worth it. But we're gonna forge ahead. I'm just gonna take this apart as much as I can. If nothing else, we'll have a taken apart chainsaw. So, it's a win-win situation. Can't lose. Cannot lose. Get this junk out of the way. Our exhaust out of the way. Get this side cover popped off. Nope, not getting back in that crevice. Unless I take this off. Now we're talking. There's not a chance I remember where all these go. Alright, these bolts here go with this. Now we can get back to this cover. Oh my goodness. What in the world? Now that is some rusty flakes in here. Holy smokes. Whose idea was this? Why did I think this chainsaw was a good idea? Look, we got a little wiggling action on the pull cord assembly. I don't know if it's possible to get this piston free, but we're certainly gonna try. We had the carburetor removed too. Put these in the parts of shame over here. A little bit of that action. A little bit of this action. The throttle's not seized on the carburetor. Well, chicken my nugget. We got a little bit of piston movement. And a little bit of movement gives us hope. Look at that movement. She'll be running in no time. We'll see if we can work this around full revolution without snapping anything. Nope, doesn't like that way. Oh boy, we got our jam cockled now. More lube. If the piston wasn't scored before, which it was, it's going to be even more scored now. Holy. We'll see if we can't cause some irreversible damage here. Yeah, that's not going to do anything for us. Oh, Almost looks like there's a chunk missing out of the piston. Well, let's give this one a shot over here. I need to put this thing on the ground. Well, we can get the flywheel off, but can we get it to spin? We'll get this off here too, because we need to see what it looks like back there anyways. Well, with a little prying action on each side, we got our flywheel off, which now we can see our points. And boy, is this thing crusty. I need to get this housing off of here so I can get to the piston better, but I'm not really sure how to do that. We'll get our carburetor off here. Well, we got it wiggling free. Not exactly sure how to get her all the way free. Oh yeah, that's what we needed. Just this one is caught. Then I think we should be home free. Watch closely so I remember how to put this back together. This is going to be way easier to get out than it is going to be to get back in there. Holy smokes. Just going to keep unbolting things until we can't put it back together or fix it. I think we might be about free here. I just got to get this oil line unthreadled so we can spill that oil everywhere. Guaranteed. They do not make this easy. I'm really regretting working on this chainsaw. How in the turds are you supposed to get that unthreadled back there? They do not make this oil line back here easy to get to. I'm not really sure how we were supposed to get that off, but we did. Well, let's see if we can get some of this crustiness off of here. Just as good as a pressure washer. We'll see if we can get this head off. It is seized, so it also isn't an easy task. In theory, this head is free. We'll see if we can unmarry it from the piston though. We got some wiggle, not with the piston though. Put our head bolts over to the side so we don't launch them. There is some wiggle in the cylinder, so that means everything isn't completely seized. I need something that I can whack the piston with. The piston is not moving at all. We got the cylinder wiggling free, but the piston is still very much so jammed in there. Well, desperate times call for desperate measures. If I don't get this chainsaw running, I'll probably freeze to death, so still don't really know if we're getting enough wiggle, but something's gonna break. Well, look away. We're getting a little desperate here. We need to get this piston moving. Either I'm busting through the top of it, or we'll get it to move a bit. Oh no, there is a whole bunch of crustiness in the bottom end. This thing might be too far gone, but we got the piston wiggling with some encouragement. I'm gonna try to get this cylinder all the way off and we'll get a better look. Easy peasy piston removal. Holy, there's a little damage in here. We'll check our piston out. Oh yeah, it'll buff out. Our bottom end is crustier than ever, which is not good. I don't really want to take apart the bottom end. Well, we did the impossible. We got this crusty chainsaw spinning over again. Should we give up? Should we keep moving on? I don't know. Oh my god, it's so bad in there. It's like a pulpy aluminum mess. I should probably throw this chainsaw in the garbage, but now I've spent already an hour on it, so at this point I'm really committed to it. I should probably spend another 5 hours on it at least and see if I can get it running. I got some diesel soaking in here. We're gonna let that soak overnight. I've decided I'm gonna try to get this chainsaw running as is, with the scored cylinder, scored piston, dented piston, crusty bottom end, and overall this thing is in terrible condition. But I want to see if it's possible to get this thing running as is. We'll get our diesel out of here, see what chunks come out of there. Not as much as I was hoping for. Oh boy, it's so bad down in here. I would have thought that diesel freed up a bit more. Alright, look down in there. There is some serious crust. Can't really see in there, but you'll just have to trust me. See if I can get you a look-see-loo. This side is okay, but there's a lot of junk down in there. The likelihood of this working is very low. There's a nice gouge in the cylinder here. Maybe even a chunk of it up at the top. Just a little carnage. You must have sucked up a grape or something. Only a grape could do this kind of damage. The rings on the piston are also seized, so I need to get those freed up. Don't really want to put a torch to it considering there's diesel on the bottom end. I'm gonna see if we can tap our rings free here. Got a little spiky thing. We got a little wiggle there, which is good. A little lube action. Yeah, we'll just keep smacking, whacking, and wiggling. Try to get these crusty little rings free. We'll have some devastating news in this chainsaw. I just snapped the ring in half. That means we're stealing parts from another saw in an attempt to get this running again. I should probably have tried to fix this chainsaw considering it's not seized, but instead I'm going to get the piston out of this one so I can put it on the crustier saw in an attempt to get that one running again. So let's get this piston out of here. I won't bore you with this, but we're going to get the piston and cylinder off this saw, maybe swap it onto that saw, I don't know. Brief intermission here. This chainsaw is way nicer than the other one. I don't know why I fixed it and working on this other crusty saw over there. But here we are. We'll continue taking this apart. If you made it this far into the video, go check out our merch. We designed it ourselves. I'll ship it out to you. Well, that was way easier the second time around. We should be free here now. let that be a life lesson. If you want to learn how to do something, just start doing it. This chainsaw was 10 times faster than the last one I took apart. So the best way to learn is just start knackering. And let me say, this piston is scored also. The cylinder is scored also. But it's better than the one over there. The bottom end is better. I'm not exactly sure even if this is going to work on that saw, but we're going to give it a shot. In the name of science. Usually you'd want to steal parts off the crusty saw to try to make the good saw work. But I'm stealing parts off the good saw to try to make this crusty saw work. I just launched the little pin that holds the wrist pin on, so that means we can't lose it off the other piston. So we might have to go out this way. Uh-oh. We'll see if we can get this off here. This piston is also in very bad condition. Nothing like using brute force when working on small engines. This should also be a lesson why you should never buy anything off Facebook Marketplace. Good as new. One brand new crunchy piston. We successfully got the clip off this one. So we have one good one. We'll get the piston and wrist pin off here, then put the cylinder from the other one on this side. Alright, we got this piston pounded off there. Look at that beauty. Save that forever. Now we can get our new piston minty fresh. Look at that beauty. That is almost in perfect condition. These chainsaws are different, so it is chunky down there. But I'm very curious to see if we can get this running as is. Chunky bottom end and all. Should probably give it one more attempt at getting some of this junk out of here. Because there's still a lot of this pulpy aluminum mix down in the bottom end. But I don't think that would cause any damage. It's kind of a durability test of sorts. We're going to see how well built this chainsaw was. Because if it runs with this crusty bottom end, crusty piston, crusty everything, it's a good ad for Homelite here. Now, let's get this thing reassembled. Or attempt to, at least. If this thing runs, even for a second, you're all obligated to buy some merch. Because this thing is so crusty, and it should not run, but there's a small chance it will run. Working on getting the new piston on here. It'd probably be easier if I took off the coil, but I don't really feel like it. We'll get that on and get back to you guys. Oh yeah, we got the piston on. We'll get the clip on and then put the cylinder on. What one to use? What one to use? These are both crusty. They're both scored. I think I'm going to run with the one that was originally on this just because I can. But we're ready to start reassembling this thing. We'll see if I remember how to reassemble it. The bottom end still has some serious chunks in there, but a little chunkage never hurt a small engine. Get a little assembly lube here. Might as well spray a little bit of this fogging oil. Should do something. Now we're gonna slip our fresh piston on to this head, hopefully. Okay, we got it past the first ring, I think. Might be scratching the piston more. There's not a good angle for this. Holy smokes. I like this. I don't see any reason why this wouldn't run. If not, cut down the whole tree. Now that is the sound of a well-lubed piston. You can tell it's well-lubed because it's scraping and scrapping. Gotta find our head bolts. We'll get this head bolted back down. I don't know where to put them though. I should have 8 around here. I only found 1 so far. These look like the nuts for the head. Or, oh no, that almost went down in the engine. Now we gotta get the 2 back here on. Well, this is what you call a chainsaw here. Almost feels like we have some resemblance of compression. We're gonna get a little oil down in there and work it over with the drill. Oh yeah. That is perfect. We're leaking fluids out of all of our holes, but she's well lubed. We'll keep reassembling this thing. You guys are probably trembling. You're starting to worry you actually have to buy our merch when this thing cranks up and cuts down a beefy tree. I really don't remember how to... Nope, that's the wrong bolt. Reassemble this thing. I have parts of 2 chainsaws over here. I have to try to figure out what goes where and how it goes. Yep, that goes there, guaranteed. Now, I think this was next. We'll clean our gasket surface. Okay, that's pretty much restored. You've probably seen a complete restoration, but you've never seen a crustoration. Yeah, that goes there. We'll bolt that up. Well, I think next thing to do is start working on the spark issue, because there probably isn't spark. We'll get these points cleaned up. They don't look terrible, but we'll get them cleaned up and try to get spark. Well, we got a little sandpaper. I'll work that in between them. Give them a quick little scrubbing. A little action like that on each side. Spray them off with a little brake clean. Get that on there. We'll get our flywheel. We'll clean this up first. We wouldn't want to put any crusty parts back on this. Got the flywheel perfectly cleaned. We'll get that. Spread them. Oh yeah. Okay, we're gonna check for spark. We got a crusty plug here. We're gonna crank it over with the drill. The on-off switch isn't on there. It might need to be on there, but we're gonna check anyways. See what we got. We got nothing like that, which is not surprising. Oh, I just saw a little spark. Look at that. We got spark. We might have a little hope after all. It helps if I spin it the right way. We got spark, so I cannot believe that. We have a spark. This thing is so crusty. That means we're gonna get the carburetor on and try to crank this thing over. We have a little hope after all. You guys need to witness this with your own eyeballs. Put the spark plug there. All right, that's good there. Look at that juicy spark. That's an extremely good spark. Somehow. Next thing we gotta do is clean this carburetor. I had it soaking in the ultrasonic cleaner for 1 cycle. Don't really want to take this apart, but we're going to. See what it hides in here. Maybe it's not that bad. It's better to take it apart before you put it in the ultrasonic cleaner, but I didn't have time. So we'll crack this open, give it a quick cleaning, pop it on the chainsaw. We might not freeze this winter. Pretty reasonable in there, not too crusty. So we have hope in the carburetor regions. We got the carburetor cleaned. We got half a gasket there, half a gasket there, which equals 1 full gasket. Good as new. We'll put the carburetor on there. How confident are you guys feeling? I give it a 50% chance of cranking over. Get our exhaust on. Getting dangerously close to ripping this thing. We're gonna get this spark plug in and try to get this thing to crank over. We'll see if it does anything for us, how the compression feels. Yeah, we'll just see what happens. Okay, boys and girls, let's see if you're about to witness a miracle. We got a little starting fluid, all that action. We're gonna try to crank this over with the drill. And if this starts, it will be a great, great day in Barn Brothers history. This drill might be too weak. There's too much compression on this thing. Yeah, there's just too much compression for the drill. It means I have to fix the pull cord assembly first. I really need to see this thing crank over. It does feel like there's some resemblance of compression at least. I think with the little lube, we should be able to get this thing spinning again. Oh yeah, she's freeing up nicely. I wouldn't say it's quite working perfectly, but she's fixed for now. Good enough to put on here again. I was supposed to run this coil wire through there, which I neglected to do, which is neat. So it's kind of gonna get in the way here. I don't really want to take the boot all the way off. Probably cause us to lose spark. But I need to get this threaded through there. Can grab it now. Now that I coated it in grease. Hopefully we still have spark after that maneuver. Okay. Now we can go like that. Get our cover sat back on there. bolt this down and we're good to go. Is it more likely this pull cord snaps or it starts up? That's good enough. Now we can try this again. Got the pull cord assembly on here. Forgot a hook. It's not working very well, but we're gonna hit her with some starting fluid and be prepared to witness a miracle. Our choke's off. Recoil's not really working, but oh yes, I cannot believe it. There's a small chance this thing runs. Hit it with a little bit more starting fluid. Can't cause any more damage than there already is. Spray a little. Like that. It ignited some of the fuel at least. We'll give it a little bit more of this. Yes! Yes! Oh, that is great success. Our fuel tank is looking here. It's looking watery and oily. We'll get this crusty, watery liquid out of the fuel tank. Fill it with some fresh gas and see if this thing starts. I don't know how this little fuel line fit on this fuel intake nipple. It's like a quarter of the size and brittle, so it's kind of a real pain in the nuts. Try to work it on there. It's gonna take longer than fixing the whole saw. After way too long, we got the fuel line hooked up. We're gonna add some gas in here. A little bit of 2-stroke oil. We're gonna run the mystery mix in this thing. Oops, a little too much. Put our cap on. Now, let's try to crank this thing over. See if we get fuel into the carburetor. Okay, we got fuel in there. We'll see what happens. Remember, this chainsaw was seized. The piston is completely knackered. The cylinder is completely knackered. So we're gonna try to kind of might be doing something. There's a little squeak going on, which is concerning. We'll see how much run time we have. It's already starting to feel a bit concerning. I don't know whether to give it throttle or not. I do know this is a great workout. It's promising. We'll see if we can get it to actually run though. Let's check that spark plug and see what it looks like. If you want a good workout, go ahead and crank over a chainsaw 50 times. Yeah, that cylinder has a lot of fluid in it right now. Whoa. Spray a little fogging oil down in there. See if we can help with that squeak. The death squeak going on in there. Check to see if we still have spark. Oh yeah. This thing has very good spark. Spark plug will go back in. We'll keep cranking it. The pull cord not really working. This is the best way to pull this thing over. One pop might be all we can get out of this thing. Yes! She's trying. She is trying. Yes. This is great success here. A little puff of smoke. Turned over more than most of you guys thought I would do, but I wanted to run. Yes! We're alive, boys and girls. We are alive. Does it sound terrible? Yes. But this thing just started up. Keep trying. Well, we just broke our pull cord, but we got it to crank over. Success. Not really sure if I should keep working this or not. Well, we're already this far in. Might as well keep working on this and spending more time on it. I think we can just thread a new rope in here and call her good. Okay, got new pull cord on there. We're gonna try a little trick here. This spark plug up. Okay, we got our warm spark plug going in. We'll see if this little trick works. Choker. See if that did anything for us. Take it off, choke. That squeak is good. You can tell it's a chainsaw because it's really squeaking. Almost need some little oil there. She's trying. She is trying. Holy smokes. Keep going. The oil wants to go full speed. Kind of terrifying. You know what this saw needs? A little bit of oil. Got some oil down in the cylinder. Hopefully that will help it build some compression in there. I don't want to say this saw sounds terrible, but it sounds pretty terrible. Okay, if it was ever gonna run, now would be the time. Take it all the way off choke, I guess. see if we can get it to stay running with starting fluid, I guess. We are cooking now. Okay, check this out. We have fuel spraying out of this little nipple here, which would affect the vacuum. So I don't think, that's why it only runs when we have starting fluid or on choke. You can see the fuel squirting out. I don't know if you actually saw it, but... Well, some bad news. I snapped off the fuel inlet little nipple there, so half of it is in the carburetor. Here it is. The other half of it snapped off in there. That might be the death of us, but I think the carburetor was actually the problem there towards the end, because we weren't getting fuel flow and it would only run on starting fluid. Periodically we'd get a little suction and get it to run longer, but I think we had a carb problem. We're gonna give this one more shot. I got a smaller fuel line shoved in that fuel inlet there, and we're just gonna run that and see if we can get it to run longer than 10 seconds. Well, this is gonna be my last attempt at this saw. We got our temporary fuel line hooked up there. It's either gonna start now or I'm throwing it in the garbage. I'm the saw's last hope though, so for its sake. We're still not really getting fuel. We'll try that. Come on, Bessie. Oh boy, we're We did it. We did the impossible. Well, now that we got it this far though, we need to try to cut something, unfortunately. Let's put the bar, let's put the chain on, and go try to cut something. Because we got this far, we're not giving up again. She's fixed for now, boys. Let this be a lesson. Never give up. Okay, we're gonna get this crusty bar. Oh boy, we need to get this lubed up because it's very seized at the moment. So I'll go do that. This chain is very seized, so should be interesting. Well, that explains why the chain won't tighten down. This bar is not the correct bar. Well, the bar might be correct, but the chain's not, because you can see this. There's nowhere it can go, and the chain is still flopsy as ever. So now, I have to scrounge around in the part saws and see if I can't come up with something. We got another donor saw here in order to make this beautiful saw running. We'll see if this bar fits on that saw. This little bar is puny though. Chain's not as seized though, so that's good. The tiniest bar ever. I actually don't need the whole bar from that saw. I just need the chain. The bar wouldn't fit, but the chain does. So we're gonna get this tightened down. Hopefully test this thing out. I've already spent way too long on it, but it's a fun side quest. Also a pain in the nuts. It'll be interesting. We got the chain, bar on. We're gonna see if we can get this to start again for us. Well, we got a spinning chain. Let's head to the woods and find a tree. My shoulder is getting tired from pulling this thing over so many times though. Made it to the woods. Let's see if this thing starts. Well, that will frickin' do it. This thing is cutting. I don't have oil for the bar, but that is a great success. We got this seized chainsaw running and cutting again against all odds. If you made it this far, go check out our merch. We got hats, we got new shirts. That's all I got. Love you guys, bye.